Alright, so about a week ago, I said Cursed Castles was one of my favorite Mario 64 ROM hacks, and I didn't think I'd be saying this again so soon, but Super Luigi 64 and the Flower Cup joins the club. Super Luigi 64 and the Flower Cup is yet another ROM hack by Usernames Are Not Important / Usernames Are Spiders, and it tells the story of how Luigi chases after some ghostly Yoshi looking figure who killed the president of the Spider Club or something. So Luigi must run around and collect 166 green power stars to stop him. I filled in a lot of the gaps there because I wasn't really paying attention to the story because blah blah John Carmack game porno story important not, but again, adding story to a Mario 64 ROM hack is always a nice touch, whether it's a priority or not. Story aside though, one of the cool things about this game is actually the dialogue. This isn't the first or the only Mario 64 hack to have funny dialogue for the characters, but there's a uniquely dry and profane edge to it that I find very amusing for some reason. What can I say? I can be a very dry and profane person. I say fuck and shit. This is a big Mario ROM hack. With 166 stars, the game is 34% bigger than the original. Now, when you make a game this big and with this much content, a risk that you run is that it'll run out of steam before the end and devolve into mediocre monotony. I even made a whole video half a year ago about how some games are just straight up too long for their own good. However, as far as I got into this hack, it remained remarkably consistent with levels that were all distinct from one another from the standpoint of both gameplay and also aesthetically. It is worth noting that I did not reach the end of this hack due to its lengthy duration. I got to 105 stars, leaving 61 left. But from what I played, I was very impressed. This is one of the most consistent and well-made pieces of work I have played in a while. First off, let's pay some respect to the visuals. My first impressions were extremely good on that front. When I entered the first level, I was absolutely floored by how good it looked. This is one of the most beautiful levels I have ever seen in a Mario 64 hack. You got that orange twilight atmosphere and this atmospheric mist, which seems less like render fog and more like it's intended to add to the atmosphere. I said atmosphere too many times. Beautiful color palette, brilliant texture work, fully rendered 3D coins with little fire flowers on them. There's verticality and you can see where everything is from a high enough vantage point. The levels feel very layered, and on top of that, just look at how animated everything is. Rotating platforms everywhere, little windmills like Mario Sunshine, big windmills like Mario Sunshine, Ferris wheel like yeah, this game likes Mario Sunshine. The world of Flower Cup is just so active and alive that you can't take your eyes off of it for a second. It almost looks like a place that could really exist in some capacity. And the best part of it is that this is just one level. Not every level looks this good, but it is remarkable how many levels do. And if the contemporary AAA gaming industry has taught me anything, it's that graphics are the most important thing forever and always. But let's pretend for a second that they're not and discuss the actual game. With respect to the gameplay, this is, again, one of the most consistent Mario 64 ROM hacks I've played. In the past, I've made no secret of my frustration with fuck-ass ROM hacks that require one extremely specific and sensitive maneuver after another, or to use some weirdo metagame shit that I didn't even know existed, just to get a single goddamn star, and PS, 60% of the stars are gonna be like that, so get used to it. Someone in my comments actually recently pointed out that the ROM hack community and the speedrun community are fairly adjacent to each other, which is why a lot of ROM hacks love to put those kinds of things in their games for their speedrunner boys. This game isn't 100% free of that stuff, but it's remarkably forgiving even in those moments. I remember in the second level there was this part where you're supposed to get up this rocky hill. I had no clue how to do this, and after trying for a while I looked it up and I came across this video where this guy would hold down A while rhythmically tapping B, which let him kick his way up the hill. Now, I didn't even know you could use the kick in that way for that purpose, and when I discovered that, I was mad, but I was also happy at the same time because the game made me learn something. This one part of a big ass game made me learn Mario 64 metagame shit. and that's really cool. What's funny about the Flower Cup is that when it's not doing that, which is really most of the time, it's actually an extremely down-to-earth, no bullshit ROM hack, and is actually pretty manageable and fun to play. This isn't a fuckster death march. I mean, it's challenging, make no mistake, but this is not the kind of game that will make you want to sniff Windex and die. It's a consistent and brisk experience that doesn't bog down its pacing with extremely frustrating, stupidly precise moments. Most of the time. If I had the time, I would probably have gone back and tried to reach the end before making this video. When a game is way too bullshitty, it makes me feel like I'm just wasting my time playing it, which isn't technically wrong in any case. I could probably be working out or learning how to code with my free time instead of playing games. But when it's so punishing that it isn't fun anymore, it's like, what's the point? I'm wasting my time and I'm not even enjoying it. But this game is not like that at all. It's an extremely manageable and approachable piece of work that isn't afraid to push your knowledge of the game's mechanics and your ability for translating that into action. The progression is fairly consistent as well. It tends to build up the more difficult challenges rather than drop them out of nowhere when you least expect it. I imagine that some of you are a little tired of me spending so much time discussing the music in these hacks. But holy shit, dude, the music in this one is like phenomenal. What I love the most about the music in this hack is that a lot of the remix tunes come from sources that I haven't really heard in other ROM hacks before, and they happen to be some of my favorite music from those games. I don't know that they were first featured in this game necessarily, but it's the first time I heard them in a ROM hack, so I greatly appreciate it. I mean, just listen to this. Super Luigi 64 and the Flower Cup is an exceptional ROM hack. There is next to nothing about it that I didn't enjoy. It's fun to look at, it's fun to listen to, and most importantly, it's fun to play. It is ROM hacking at its best, and I can easily recommend this to anyone. But that's gonna be it for today's present. Can you guess what tomorrow is gonna be? I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but I think you'll enjoy it. I mean, it does have a lot of redeeming qualities after all. Merry Christmas, cousins.